Welcome to the Nation Network. I'm Vince McSham, and this year marks 22 years that I've been streaming here on YouTube. Now, back in 2004, I've got to tell you, it was really the Wild West when it comes to video and streaming. I mean, heck, we didn't even have live streaming at that time. It was all pretty much capture your video, edit it, and then upload it to YouTube. 2004 was also the year that I decided to get into video editing. I captured video on VHS, imported it with a capture card to my MacBook, did some editing, transition work, and created a video that was called InvasionENDS. It was supposed to be a one-off. It was just an experiment. It was just something for me to tool around with the editing tools in my MacBook. But the audience, they liked it. The feedback, I was surprised. When's the next one? Can't wait to see what happens next. Now, back in 2004, there weren't too many, if any, people that were taking wrestling videos, chopping them up, and making fantasy promotions out of them. I consider myself to be the OG, and I like that. Now, unfortunately, that channel was pulled down by YouTube for copyright infringements, and I had nothing else I could do except what any good creator would do in that situation. I started a whole other channel. This channel would have been called InvasionENDS. I posted some of my favorite work on InvasionENDS over the next 2 years. Until it also was struck down for copyright violations. That led to the channel that we all know now as the Nation Network. A couple of years ago, I discovered that somehow InvasionENDS was back. Unfortunately, I no longer had access to them as a creator. I don't have the logins anymore. I have no way of getting into it. I've tried, but the video at least still exists. Unfortunately, YouTube is now doing something else. They're going over accounts that have been idle for 2 years or longer, and they are deleting them. I can understand from a business sense why they would do that. In the meantime, I am trying desperately to save as much of that content, especially the stuff that meant the most to me, and put it here on this channel where it belongs. So I am starting with one of my all-time favorite fantasy promotions and seasons, which was featured with WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2012, in which we created the world of the XCW. This fantasy promotion brought some of the biggest indie names to the world of InvasionENDS videos. Names like Eddie Kingston, Kevin Steen, who we now know as Kevin Owens, and even a certain Raw general manager who at that time was scrap iron and he was working inside the ring. You're going to see how the old THQ games offered creators so much more to work with through a thing called Create a Story Mode. Something that 2K has done away with and has never revisited despite fans begging for it. With Create a Story Mode, you had cutscenes that would take place in restaurants, backstage segments, 4-on-1 attacks, drive-bys, monster truck attacks, so many different things, and you could tell the stories however you wanted to, and you had all the tools to do it really well. It was a great time to be a creator. So take a trip back in time to 2012, SmackDown vs. Raw by THQ. Grab a drink, get a snack, and get ready to go to the extreme. This is the XCW.